What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. So we got a lot to talk about, and this isn't just about a rough game, okay? It's about what happens when a coach avoids accountability and how that could cost a team their season. So let's break this down for a second, and then we'll get into the article in a minute. Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh made headlines after their crushing loss to the Indiana Fever, as we know, which happened on this past weekend, which was a Saturday. And the Sky dropped 2 of 5 on the season after getting beat down by a team that's been finding its groove. And yes, it was ugly. The kind of ugly that makes you question not just the players, but the system itself. So now the spotlight fell on Angel Reese, of course, who finished the night with just 4 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists on 2 of 7 for shooting. And that's a brutal 28.6% from the field, mostly from point blank range. But here's the part that really caught fire. Coach Marsh told reporters he didn't think Angel Reese struggled at all. He didn't think Angel Reese struggled at all. That is wow. That is laughable. And his exact quote was, I quote unquote, I don't think Angel Reese struggled tonight. I think we struggled as a team. And it's not about Angel being better for us. It's about being better for Angel. Interesting. Let that sink in for a minute. So with no further ado, family, let's get into the article now. As you guys see the article as it reads, Chicago Sky coach sends strong Angel Reese message after loss to Indiana Fever. Chicago's loss to the Fever forced them 2 of 5 on the season. They were finally gaining traction, winning back-to-back games against the Dallas Wings before they faced off against the Fever. After the loss to Indiana, Chicago Sky head coach responded to a question on Angel Reese's struggles, finishing the game against the Fever with 4 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists. We read all that. I said all that already. The coach explained that the team needs to be better for Angel Reese, looking to help the Chicago forward succeed with the weapons around her. Um, and then he said, I don't think Angel struggled tonight. I think we struggle as a team. Marsh said, it's not about Angel being better for us. It's about us being better for Angel. And headed into the game against the Indiana Fever, Angel Reese averaged 10 points, 12.3 rebounds, and we could round it to 3 assists per game. She struggled to find consistent success in the scoring realm, as we know, because she has more rebounds than points. But Reese continues to establish herself as one of the best rebounders in the WNBA. I mean, of course you can do that because she has the height. So that's just she has the skill power, but she don't have the willpower. And when I mean willpower, I mean to will your way to greatness when it comes to you working on the things that you're not necessarily good at. See, it's one thing. See, I like to break things down from a common sense perspective so we all can relate on an everyday basis, especially speaking from a perspective of your everyday average Joe American or everyday average Joe basketball player, whatever, right? So think about it like this. Y'all ever came across that player who is naturally fast, at moving in transition, cutting back door, cutting down low, getting around screens. But when it comes to him being a freelancer and to be able to move and groove, however, when it comes to him finally getting open throughout all the moving and grooving he doing, he doesn't know how to execute as good offensively, but he knows how to be a burst of energy, working a fast paced game, right? So what I'm saying is, it's easy when you already have the skill that comes easy to you, but the hard part is doing the work for the things that don't come easy to you. So of course, Angel Reese, with her height, Miss Reese Pieces, is going to be easy for her to get rebounds, right? She got just as much rebounds as in Kaden Clark. She has more rebounds per game um than Angel Reese. She has the same amount of rebounds per game that Kaden Clark has as assists per game. Angel Reese, let me fact check it. Let me fact check it. Angel Reese has rebounds just the same as Caitlin Clark. Let me fact check it. 1 second. Let me get it. All right. Because I believe I'm right. It was something like that within those lines. Because Angel Reese, her rebounds per game, she's pulling in 12.3 rebounds per game over 7 games. Impressively, she's notching more rebounds than the points, averaging 9 points per game, meaning more than okay. So she's averaging. Caitlin Clark is putting up 9.3 assists per game, right? So yeah, Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than the points per game that Angel Reese is averaging. And it's easy when it's easy when you have a player who doesn't have to do much because of her height, which is already advantage, which makes it easy for her to get all these rebounds. So it's a fact. I was right. So when it comes to that, Reese doesn't obviously outpace Clark in rebounds, and Clark clearly leads in assists. Um, But there you have it. So I want to expand on this as we continue to read this article. Reese has a solid performances on the defensive end, posting 0.3 blocks and 1.8 steals per game. Her defense is trash. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky will attempt to bounce back from their loss to the Indiana Fever, who are playing without Caitlin Clark on Tuesday. The Sky are set to face the New York Liberty tonight, actually. No. Yeah, tonight. They play the New York Liberty. Angel Reese. Yeah, they play I believe tonight. Let me check. 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 June 10th, the Indiana Fever plays the Atlanta Dream. This is the day. So the Indiana Fever plays tonight. Chicago Sky plays tonight. There you have it. However, that was the article within itself. Now let's have the conversation. So I wanted you guys to let that sink in because he didn't say Angel had an off night. He didn't say she needs to improve. Tyler Marsh, the head coach of the Chicago Sky, he deflected all accountability from her, away from her, and put it on the rest of the team. Now that's wild. Now let's be fair. This isn't all on the coach. Chicago looks a mess from top to bottom. The shooting is abysmal. Turnovers are piling up, and defensively they're getting shredded. But at some point, a coach has to be honest, not just with fans, with the players and with himself. So let's get into the facts. Angel Reese, she's a strong rebounder, no question. She's aggressive on the boards and she brings energy. And her offensive game, she's shooting under 30% from the field, and most of those looks are right around the rim. Look, that's a problem. You can't blame the team for that. Great players find ways to score efficiently, and especially when they're getting touches in the paint. And when you're a top draft pick, when you're being pushed as a franchise player, expectations come with the territory. Accountability comes with the territory. Because this type of gameplay right here, check it out, family. Check it out. Angel Reese cuts, she gets the ball. This type of volleyball, throwing, lob, layup, trash that was is not going to fly in this league, okay? And now we're going to look at this. Now you're traveling, right? So now she's traveling in full effect.
Out with the hand up. Her hands were down and Howard knocked it down, and that is a travel.
Reese drags the pivot foot, gives the ball back to Indiana.
Carelessly giving up possessions. Carelessly. You cannot say that she's not trash offensively just as she is trash defensively. I don't care how many rebounds she get back because clearly she's still learning to kick the ball back out because she likes to go up and continue to try to keep shooting these shots that she brick because she clearly can't make layups. So she needs to focus on her layup game. But the coach. If you're a head coach, your job is to manage talent, right? Not just hype it up. Reese is not above criticism. Saying the team needs to do better for Angel is backwards leadership. Is soft. I'm sorry. In fact, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry for not being sorry. And if your centerpiece is struggling, you address it, you fix it, you don't coddle it. One thing Marsh could do is reduce her minutes temporarily. Experiment with lineups. Bring in this chick. What's her name? Maddie. What's her name? Her name Maddie Westbell. Where's she at? Yeah, bring Maddie in. You know what I'm saying? Bring Maddie in. Experiment with her. And I think that's their best bet because she's a versatile forward who's shown flashes and deserves a shot. That's how you spark competition. That's how you shake things up. Otherwise, you're just running the same tired plays and hoping for a different result. So, and the fans see right through it. I see right through it. Comment down below if you see right through this nonsense. Chicago fans aren't stupid. They're passionate and they know basketball. They can see that this team lacks flow, spacing, execution, and yes, toughness. Angel is not the only problem, but pretending she's not a part of the problem is insulting. Let's take a look. You take a look at those tapes that I just showed you, right? Blown layups with no pressure. Turnovers over simple drives, misreads on pick and rolls. These aren't chemistry issues. These are fundamentals, and Marsh isn't addressing them. Tyler Marsh. And if you keep telling a player who's struggling they're doing fine, what incentive do they have to improve? That's not coaching. Man, Stephanie White on Indiana Fever, you know why they beat the game? I'll take it another notch. You know why they beat the game? Man, look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. We gonna have a conversation. We gonna have a conversation. Stephanie White, she's a woman, and it's not a guy versus woman thing. It's just I'm speaking of a nature. I'm speaking about the nature of a coach who really want what's best for their team because it don't seem like Mr. Marsh has his best interest for the Chicago Sky. He's just riding the hype. But Stephanie White, as we know, Sophia Cunningham is injured. Caitlin Clark is injured. You know, they're suffering like 3 injuries, bro. Like. So look, she even has more accountability than him.
Thanks. I'm doing all right. It's helpful that we have such a great group that is pouring into me. And
Oh, not that. This is what she said. This is what she said. They're looking at Sophia Cunningham, whatever, recovering.
Put me on the sideline and talk. That's about all. I'm ready to play. Sit out over there and just talk the whole time. I'm going crazy. Yes, she's going crazy. Again, she just continues to be.
Let me see. What the injury issues? Look, she was even honest. Because you got Sydney Colson, she was out too. So look, she said, look.
No update yet. Wait to hear from our training staff about where we are right now. But no, Sid was in the locker room. I didn't see Sophie after the game. There's no question, we're hitting adversity right now. Like it's challenging. And it's still a great opportunity for us because it's not going to be perfect. It's early enough in the season that we've got a chance to really, I think, find a gut check moment, right? And who we're going to be through adversity. And, I think our team battled.
That's why they won the game, because the simple fact is the coach is a leader, no matter how you put it. She can see the floor from an outsider standpoint, just like the fans can, and she's not faking the funk. She's not sitting there in la world or living in her delusion on what she wants to say that sounds good and being ignorant for the simple fact that she's being this disservice to her players as she is the leader who's coaching this team. The reality is they understand the adversity they had. They had Sydney Colson out. They had Sophia Cunningham out. They got Caitlin Clark out. Erin McDonald, that was her second game Saturday night. Tonight will be her third game against Atlanta Dream. But the simple fact is they all have faced the reality, and through that adversity that she's talking about, and that's discomfort, that's where real growth sets in. But the tone can be set in if there's no acknowledging of the pressure to then compete and make the right adjustments, because we all know that Ari McDonald, she's only covering because we know that this league has a roster issue with only 11 to 12 players being able to play. The simple fact is, she like, look, we got Ari McDonald. She's coming in. She was ready to play. She already was prepared, so she didn't have to get ready. Ari McDonald was hungry. She said, look, this is my job. And she was watching film on a flight to Indiana and got straight in the game. Right? Ari McDonald first game with Indiana Fever was let me see if I remember. My mind be everywhere sometimes. Her first game was what let me see. Her first game with Indiana Fever was, I think, with the Washington Mystics. There we go. And they won, right? They snapped a 3-point losing streak, Indiana, when they brought Ari McDonald in. But Ari McDonald is not even a franchise. She's not a franchise name, right? She's not a face of the franchise. She's not an individual who is being boasted to be this hyped up player with all this publicity and stuff, right? And to be honest, I don't think it would get to her head. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you look at Ari McDonald and Angel Reese, obviously they play two different positions. But I'm talking about the hunger, the grit, the grind. This girl, Ari McDonald, came from a flight. She came off a flight, studied film, and just had to get in the game with the Washington Mystics and make it shake. And she hungrier than Angel Reese. And Angel Reese just comfortable, and let alone also the lack of leadership when it comes to her coach not even take accountability. So they have a whole nature within that team of just not taking accountability, right? And they wonder why they're not going to get the different results, and they're going to continue to lose, because the simple fact is, Angel Reese is supposed to be this franchise player, right? So I feel like you need to make her compete. So when you look at it and all these things, if you keep telling the player who's struggling they're doing fine, they're not going to approve. That's horrible coaching. That's babysitting in my eyes. Tyler Marsh is babysitting Angel Reese. So what should Coach Marsh should be doing? Starting to build honest accountability in the locker room and with himself too. Shift the rotation. Give Maddie Westbell. Give this young lady, young woman. Give this woman the opportunity, man. There's people out there that really want it as bad as Angel Reese. Ain't nobody got time to be playing with Angel Reese. But she want to be playing all these publicity games and so caught up in the limelight and on her podcast and stuff. But her game is trash. Her focus is elsewhere, not these individuals who really want it. Right? So, start Reese off the bench for a few games to shake the rhythm and reset her confidence, if that's the case. Work on our tempo and conditioning in real time, scrimmaging reps that match game speed, not just off-season training clips on Angel Reese Instagram. And most importantly, stop protecting feelings. Start fixing the problems. Because here's the truth. If Angel Reese becomes the player everyone hopes she can be, she needs tough coaching, not soft headlines. And if she doesn't, the team needs to pivot early enough to salvage the season. So let's stop pretending a 28% shooting night is somehow acceptable. Let's stop gaslighting fans, and let's stop enabling mediocrity, right? So my final word is I got to say as I close, family, Tyler Marsh may be trying to protect his player, but in doing so, two things can be true at the same time. He is hurting Angel Reese's growth and his team chances of building something real. So what do you think? Is Marsh doing the right thing by shielding Reese with this whole statement he said right here? Where is that? So is he doing the right thing, shielding Angel Reese, or is this exactly the kind of sugar-coated leadership that turns promising teams into punchlines? Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and let's keep it real, family. On that note, family, spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate. Love you guys. Peace.